I was watching Top of the Pops when my dad took his last breath. And then I went to the youth club with my friends. Because we didn't have mobile phones in 1986 and that devastating news hadn't reached me yet. I was met on the doorstep by my mum at 10:15, braced to be shouted at because that was too late for a school night. And she met me with this weird calmness instead, while the news was delivered and the bottom of my world was carved out. I wish you would have shouted at me instead, because I could have handled that. The next day I got up for school uncharacteristically early to escape the numbness of the house. And I knew that bitch on the bus would have to be nice to me for once, because my dad was dead and hers was not. And then I felt guilty for needing my dad to die as a reason for people to be nice to me. I was given money to buy a black dress, but I couldn't find one, so I bought a skirt instead. One that I could get away with wearing to school. My dad would have approved of the economy of that. At the funeral we must have sang songs, although I can't remember. My dad would have been relieved not to have to mumble through them. I just remember staring at that wooden box and wanting to cry and shout and break the fucking thing open and cling to him and declare my devotion to him. He would have been extremely uncomfortable with that display of emotion. And so I just stared and mumbled instead. How does a 13-year-old who doesn't know how to feel begin to process that grief? Well, the answer is that she doesn't. Instead, she looks for relief. And the world continues to turn. And this new empty normality settles around the dad-sized hole you've left behind. And the groundswell gets forced down, facilitated by substances and destruction on the inside, because the only comfort I could find was the southern kind. And on the outside I continued to stare and mumble. And behind that stare I'm saying to you, you can fuck off with your fucking guidebook, because this teenage grief is basically a guilt roadblock. Guilt that I was watching Top of the Pops. Guilt that I went to the youth club. Guilt that I enjoyed the attention. Guilt that I couldn't delay your departure. Guilt that I never declared my devotion. And I hate myself for this, but it's the truth. And you can't make me let go of this feeling. I will stuff it deep down inside. Because this is the way I keep you alive in me.